tuning from. I'm here, let's be gonna chat. Thank you for joining me this morning. Here in Kenya, it's now some minutes past 10 a.m. and I just wanted to invite everyone, come and chat what is in your mind. Of late, we have been going through different situations, especially my country. We have in the month of August, that was last month, we were able to vote for new leadership, and we, after voting for the new government, some of the politicians, they went to the Supreme Court to reject. They rejected the winner. They took the case there. The case was, after the case, it was confirmed that the president-elect, who is now our president, Dr. William Ruto, was the winner. And now the government, then he was inaugurated on the 13th of this month, and we moved on with our lives. So sometimes you ask yourself, why is it that people refuse to agree, refuse to accept the reality? Because I remember in school, not everybody comes number one. Not all people. Maybe in a class of 30 people, 40 people, 50 people, or 10 people, or even 100 people, there will always be someone who comes number one. Though number one can be shared by people, but all the class cannot be number one. And so, now recently we witnessed the funeral of Queen Elizabeth, and now today, this week, we are witnessing the meeting, the United Nations meeting that is taking place at New York. And yesterday I was able to listen and even watch, and even I posted the speech that the address of the U.S. President Joe Biden, and later I was able to watch the speech of the president. I also watched the speech of the president of Iran, and in the evening I watched the speech of my president, Dr. William Ruto, and the leaders, the world leaders are meeting at New York, discussing on the way forward concerning the issues they are handling, they are concerning. One of the major concerns is the war in Ukraine, and other concerns, the food shortage, the global food shortage, the high inflation, scarcity of fertilizer, scarcity of fuel, high inflation, and high cost of living. And as far as the fuel is concerned, once the fuel goes high, everything else goes high. And in our today's life, when the things change, there's a scripture in the Bible which says that when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. And there's a scripture which says that when the enemy shall come like a flood, God will lift up a standard. God will raise up a standard. I'm reminded of a scripture in the book of Isaiah 65 and verse number 24, which says that it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear them. God was speaking to the children of Israel. He was telling them that before they pray, He will answer their prayer. And when they start asking, before it shall come to pass, before they pray, God answers the prayer. My question this morning is, people have different cultures. People behave differently. People are, everyone is moving on with their life, and the challenges which are in every country, the inflation, after the pandemic, and also the pandemic is still, there are still some areas whereby there is still pandemic. Like yesterday, there is a patient who was suffering from Ebola in Uganda, and the patient passed away. So you find that the world is full of challenges. You watch, there are many floods, these floods which have taken place in different countries. And while you watch that other areas like Kenya, Africa, we have been experiencing a long drought. While you watch countries like Pakistan and other countries whereby which have experienced some floods of different kinds. And then you wonder that for that rain that causes such kind of floods, if God can distribute that rain to the dark globe, for sure, it and equalize it, we will not be having these food shortages that we are having. It is my prayer this morning that you will, that God will help us, God will enable us to have, will give us rain. Right now, we're in Kenya, we're in the month of September. Today is on 22nd of September, and people expect it to rain this coming October, as it used to rain, as it has been for a long time. But due to the climate change, many times, we don't know when the rain will come, we don't know how long it will take, and so if the rain is not enough and the food, here we normally plant things like maize, that is corn, things like beans, things like pigeon peas, things like cowpeas, things like soya beans, things, some people they plant sweet potatoes, some people they plant, you can plant whatever you want, but it depends. Some people they plant onions, other people they plant potatoes, other people they plant watermelons. You can plant as many things as you want, but the fact remains, if it does not rain, if the rain is not enough, like this season, people will have a hard time. Because last season people never harvested anything. It's only few people that harvested, and so it means that you'll have to go and buy beans from the shop to plant. You'll have to buy pigeon peas from the shop to plant. You'll have to buy corn from the shops to plant the seedlings. You'll have to buy everything from the shop. And when you consider the labor, you also need to hire people to plant, to cultivate for you. Farming is a process. It's a process whereby when the rain comes, or before the rain comes, the farmer has to organize for the farm to be prepared. If there are weeds, big trees, you have to organize for someone to cut those trees. And when the rain comes, but when it rains, you have to get people to do the cultivation. Like in my case, in my place, we use a calf bulls and we use a plow machine to plow. Then, if you don't have bulls, or maybe you have bulls and you're just alone, you have to hire people to come and work for you. And if you don't have the bulls, you have to hire someone who has them to come and plow for you, and then you pay them. And you can also hire a tractor depending on your demands. A tractor, sometimes you use a tractor to cultivate, to plant our seedlings, and when you need to use a tractor or you use bulls, the plow, to plow. Once when it comes, when the seedlings germinate, if it is corn, be it beans, you need someone to cultivate. You need a plow to cultivate it again. Then you need people to come and dig, do some weeding through using jembes. Use a plow to plow, and when it comes, once the seedlings have germinated after planting, you need people to reweed. You can use cows to reweed for the first time, and then once they do it, the seedlings are able to get to be strong, and then you get some people to you also hire people to come and work for the in your farm and remove the weeds so that the crops can be able to perform well. And all this happens when the rain is there. When you get good rain, you are able to get a good harvest. But if you don't get good rain, and yet you don't have irrigation, only a few people practice irrigation, and due to water shortages, water levels, those who practice irrigation maybe from the dams, those who are near the dams, when the dam dries, then everything else dries. For example, someone who's doing farming for the vegetables or the groceries, like cabbage, like sukuma wiki, like spinach, like tomatoes, like onions, like yams. If you don't have like sugar canes, if you don't have water, you are doing it through using the water from the dam. And right now, the year has been a long drought, meaning the water levels were not enough. Once you start, once you've grown and then the water disappears, it means that your seedlings will not manage to overcome the heat, because it can be so hot in Kenya, and in some parts it's so hot. You find that Kenya has different seasons, that has different locations, and you find there are areas that experience long rains, and there are areas that experience short rains. Most of the times, the meteorological department, they issue a warning to people, telling them don't plant crops which will take long, and you find that maize takes long, and it is a stable food here. So if people don't plant it, it means they will have to import it. Now that makes importing food makes life so hard. Many times when you have food in the farm and someone who's going to buy from the shop, those are two different people. Our farms are very fertile. If we can get enough rain, if our farms, we've had boreholes or water for irrigation, we will not be talking about the shortage, the food shortage. We will not be talking about the corn shortage, because we are able to do cultivation. We are not, if we had rain in our country, right now, nobody would be dying of hunger. But when we don't have the rain, even the cows, they are dying. The animals, the wild animals, like elephants in Makueni, they've been destroying people's plantations. They've been destroying. Those people have planted trees. They've been destroying. They've been destroying everything that they find. Because when you look at that area right now, it is so dry. The surface looks very dry, and that's where most of the elephants are. So when the elephants, they find somewhere where there is water, they go moving from to the houses to people's homes. If someone has a farm, maybe a planted mangoes or whatever, mangoes, some people plant mangoes, others plant oranges. People plant what others, they plant avocados, they plant different things, others plant maize. If the elephants find those fresh maize, and where there is no green grass, they automatically destroy, because they are looking for green pastures. They are looking for something that they can hit. So you find that the rain, the rain has been raining for quite a long time, and if God can give us rain and balance it, and enough of it, for sure, our animals for us to reduce the challenges that we are having. Let me know how the climate has affected where you are. Let me know where you're watching from and how the climate change has affected where you are, whether it has affected your country negatively or positively. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video. Bye.